two people get the exact same injection from the exact same nurse in the exact same room. One is alone. The other has their partner sitting beside them, holding their hand. If you ask them to rate the pain from 1 to 10, the second person would very likely give a lower number, not because the needle was different, because someone was in the room. That sounds like something you'd expect. Comfort, distraction, feeling cared for. What's stranger is that researchers can now show this happening at the level of the brain and the nervous system, not just self-report. The common assumption is that having someone with you just makes pain more bearable psychologically. A comfort effect, a distraction, maybe some polite underreporting to seem tough in front of someone. Nothing physical really changes. There's also a cultural assumption running underneath that toughing it out alone is somehow more mature, more capable, and that needing someone there is a kind of weakness layered on top of whatever hurts in the first place. Except when researchers looked past what people said and measured what their bodies and brains were actually doing, the effect turned out to be real, not just polite. In 2003, researchers Jill Brown, David Sheffield, Mark Leary, and Michael Robinson ran a study putting people through an experimental pain task. Alone, with a supportive companion present, or with a stranger present. People with a supportive companion present reported less pain and showed reduced physiological stress responses compared to being alone or with a stranger. A stranger's presence didn't reliably help. It had to be someone who actually felt supportive. In a 2009 study, researchers found that simply looking at a photograph of a romantic partner, no touching, no talking, just a photo, measurably reduced experimentally induced pain compared to looking at a photo of a stranger or an object. The partner didn't even have to be in the room. Just the image of someone you're close to was enough to shift how much a real physical pain signal registered. The researchers ruled out simple distraction as the explanation, since a neutral, pleasant photo didn't produce the same reduction. It specifically had to be the partner. Perhaps the clearest demonstration comes from a 2006 study by James Coyne, Hilary Schaefer, and Richard Davidson. Married women underwent brain scans while anticipating a mild electric shock, either alone, holding a stranger's hand, or holding their husband's hand. Holding the husband's hand measurably reduced activation in threat-related brain regions, and the effect was strongest in women who rated their marriages as the highest quality. The closer the relationship, the bigger the reduction in the brain's own threat response. This isn't unconditional. A stranger's presence across these studies didn't reliably produce the same effect, and in some cases helped a little or not at all. The buffering effect tracks relationship quality and trust specifically. It's not simply having another human nearby. It's having a specific kind of relationship nearby. It also doesn't mean any companion will do in a pinch, or that presence alone is a substitute for actual pain treatment. It's a real, measurable modifier, not a replacement. This is part of why having a support person during childbirth is consistently linked to better reported pain outcomes. Why some people specifically request a friend accompany them to a dentist appointment, and why chronic pain patients who feel socially isolated often report their pain as more intense and harder to manage than patients with strong support networks. even when the underlying physical condition is comparable. So pain isn't a fixed readout your body sends up regardless of context. It's processed through the same neural circuitry that also tracks safety and threat. And the presence of someone you trust appears to tell that circuitry the situation is safer than it would otherwise register. The same procedure, the same nerve endings, a measurably different experience depending on who is or isn't nearby. The practical version is almost embarrassingly simple. If you or someone you care about is facing something painful, a medical procedure, a hard physical moment, don't treat having someone present as just emotional support on the side. Treat it as a legitimate part of the pain management itself. Bring the person you trust most into the room if you can, or even just keep a photo of them nearby if you can't. This also reframes something people often feel guilty about. Wanting someone there for a scary appointment isn't neediness. Based on this research, it's closer to bringing along a second non-pharmacological tool that measurably works. The needle was the same. The nurse was the same. The only thing that changed was who was standing there. That's one more piece of being human, decoded.